beautiful people. So it's hot. It's almost 90. It went from like winter to summer very, very quickly. But that means that we've really got to get on top of this flower bed that we have been in the process of building. So it's been about 2 weeks, I think, since we've been out here to do anything. Mom's back in town. We've got a little bit more heavy lifting. We need to get these topsoils and composts mixed into this topsoil that we've already got in here just to give it some added nutrition. And then theoretically we should be good to start putting our dahlia tubers out here. But let me go on ahead and get you on hyperlapse for this segment of the video, because we need to get those, like I said, bags of soil in, and then we need to get the trellising in, because we do have some dahlias that are going to get at least 3 feet, possibly closer to 4 foot high. So tall, tall flowers. So cut flower garden, here we come. Okay guys, so we're gonna take a minute here in the middle of this video. We're gonna have a conversation, and it's gonna be about soil health, and I'm gonna do it as quickly as I can so I can get out of the sun here, because I'm getting close to needing a break. So
check close to the here.
Close to the,
yeah,
okay,
and then like 8 inches out.
and 8 inches out. Okay, so I have my Hori here. It's got a nice little scoop, serrated edge, does multiple purpose things. I'm gonna go down the 6 inches to check the soil, because we did do a bulk topsoil purchase, and I want to see what it looks like down there. Okay, so this is actually not surprising. So let me kind of get you in position here. It's a little powdery. Not entirely surprising, because we've just now started adding the compost and manure and a good nutritious compost topsoil. So the topsoil that we have used to top off this bed after getting the bulk topsoil is the Garden Magic topsoil, and it is enriched with some peat and some manure, and it actually has earthworms in it. But this should go without saying that if your soil is not healthy, if you do not have good healthy soil, you will not have good healthy plants. Dahlia tubers in particular need to be down roughly 6 inches. Could be more depending upon your area and how cold you get, especially if you want to chance leaving them in the ground. The colder your region, the more likely it is that you should pull your dahlia tubers out and store them in at least a cool, dry area over winter, because otherwise the ice, the snow, the cold could kill your tuber.
It'll rot them.
Yeah, it'll rot them out. They don't like to be overly wet. Now, the middle section here, closer to our trellising, actually looks a bit richer. Now, down below, we also put in, we had straw bales out here that we were using to protect our fig trees. And we went on ahead and we used that in the very bottom of this, and it looks like it's starting to break down. If I recall, I think the middle was a little bit thicker with the straw.
I think so.
Not intentionally, but it just ended up being that way. So the middle and the soil actually smells really, really good right there. So getting this in, we are supposed to have some rain. The rain should help all of the nutrients in this compost blend. We did the cotton burr compost. It's technically for in-ground use, but it's used technically, I keep saying that word, but it's technically used to help break up clay soil. The topsoil that we got was clay heavy, so we went on ahead and decided to use that in here just to help break up that subsoil a bit. and to help the topsoil that we got from Garden Magic. But honestly, the Garden Magic topsoil seems to be pretty stellar all the way around, so I'm not really worried about the aeration on it. But we're gonna go cool off, and then we're probably gonna give this another little bit of a turn here and water it in, because we're supposed to get rain, but I don't know that we're gonna get it, because we've been supposed to having it for what, 2-3 days now?
2 days at least.
Yeah, for the last 2 or 3 days you're supposed to have had rain, and we've had none. And I want to make sure that the nutrients that are on the top here go down into the subsoil, and that's the way that you do it. But I think for planting our dahlia tubers out this year, this is going to be perfectly fine. And what we may go on ahead and do is, when we go to dig the holes for our dahlia tubers to put them in, we'll probably throw in a hand of Espoma Biotone and Starter. If you've never used that, I highly recommend it. We put it in everything that we plant out anymore, and every single time that we have used it, we've had great success. A lot of the plants that we've actually had to pull and cull, we weren't using the Biotone. It really does help with the root development and the plant development, and just seems to help them be stronger plants in the long run. So I do highly recommend it. I have no affiliate links or anything. You should be able to find it at your local garden center, especially if you are more up north and out west. So Oregon area and up, it's a lot easier to find the Espoma products. Here in the south, it can be a little dicey, so we kind of have to hunt. Thankfully, our local garden center uses it, so they keep it in stock, but it does take them a while to get the order in, which is fine by them and fine by us as long as we can get it. But highly recommend, go check it out, try it, see if it helps to improve some of your plant health this year. All right, we're gonna take a water break and a cool down break, and then we'll be back at it very, very shortly. Okay guys, the weather might be trying to psych us out. Like there's some big clouds that are coming in, blocking some of the sun, which is cool with me. Kind of gives us a little bit of a reprieve from the intense sunlight. And frankly, if it's a warm rain, I'm okay with working in the rain, so we'll be doing that. But before we water, we went on ahead and voted. We got this is actually a chocolate sedum, believe it or not. But we had gotten it, and we got it a little bit too early. It was way too cold to plant anything out. We didn't have the bed done, and it all basically, you can kind of see, hopefully, these little leaves down here it was basically dead. So I put it in this tub with some water to see if I could get it to rejuvenate, and it decided it's gonna live. So we've got new green growth, and the stems have greened up, so we're gonna go on ahead and we're gonna plant this guy out, and then we're going to water all of this bed in before before it rains. If it rains. I don't know what it's going to do. I don't think the weather knows what it's going to do, guys, honestly. So I'm going to go on ahead. I'm going to put you on hyperlapse. We're going to get this done and then move on to the sunflower bed, where we're going to work on the soil over there. Okay, I'm gonna kind of water the side garden while I'm over here, guys, but I also wanted to mention this multitasking. Just because, and this is something that happens, especially I've noticed if you're a first-time gardener, if you have a plot of soil anywhere, just because you don't have plants in them in that area doesn't mean that you shouldn't go on ahead and water. Your soil is made up of a bunch of living microorganisms, and almost all microorganisms need moisture of some sort in order to live. So it is very important that your soil not go hydrophobic. And if soil hasn't had water for a very significant amount of time, it can go hydrophobic, which means that it won't necessarily be an effective gardening place for you. You won't be able to grow 90% of the things that in general we want to grow. So just bear in mind that if you are not in a position to plant out right now, but maybe you haven't had any snowfall, rainfall, ice, what have you, still go on ahead and care and tend to your soil, because soil is where it's at. If you don't have good soil, you're not going to have a good garden. Period. End of subject. So make sure to take care of your soil and give it everything that it needs, because if you have good soil, you're going to have strong, healthy plants. Strong, healthy plants are going to give you great produce, great flowers, and be more bug and disease resistant. So really, that resistance that you're looking for, instead of maybe focusing on plants that are resistant, increase the health of your soil, because the healthier your soil, the healthier your plant, the more disease and pest resistant they will be in the end. So I would say we probably as gardeners need to focus less on varieties that are just hybridized and maybe just go a little bit more old school in our practices. That could just be me. You know, you do you, but that's just my thoughts on that subject. All right, so I'm going to finish watering over here. We're going to move on to the soil over in the sunflower bed, which I just expanded and built out. I'll try and link that video here as well. But we need to build up that soil so that we can plant out our sunflowers. It's going to be delightful this year. I'm so excited. Lots and lots of sunflowers. We'll have enough for cut. We'll have enough for me to harvest for Bath and Beauty products. It's gonna be a thing of beauty, let me tell you. All right, so let's go get that part started. Okay guys, so we've officially gotten the sunflower bed amended and filled up to the tippy top. And it turns out that there was a sunflower growing down in there. So what we did is we just pulled it up and then basically transplanted it. I'm not sure if it's gonna live or not. We'll find out. Fingers crossed that it does though. So, when it comes to sunflowers and soil, sunflowers are actually able to correct soil issues. So if you have had any problems whatsoever with pesticides on your land, try planting sunflowers. They will pull up the toxins and remove it from the soil and amend the soil. Just make sure at the end of season that you don't leave their root balls in the soil, because they will release a different type of toxin that will kill any other plants that you attempt to plant behind them. Caveat there. So we've got that all adjusted and good to go. I think that's actually all that we have for today. So if you guys have any questions or have any tips or tricks or advice that you would like to share with anyone here on the channel about amending soil and soil care, go on ahead and drop a comment down below. As always, keep it simple, natural, and essential. We'll see you on the next video.